Stereotypically, power would mean control, it would mean coercion. But I think to me, power means influence, it means impact, it means the fact that you can actually bring about the change that you talk about. I think that is what power is. And power is also being authentic. It is not just showing one facet of being strong, but the fact that you can be vulnerable. It means to be collaborative. It means to really connect with people. I think that is what power would be for me. I would say joining Amazon has been a turning point. I'm now 5.5 years into Amazon, and I feel that everything that I had done thus far in my career, whether it was being an assistant director, a casting director, an executive producer or line producer, or running a screenwriters lab, I think I was somewhere preparing for this role of being a catalyst, an enabler, where I could, make this kind of a change, create this kind of an ecosystem where all kinds of stories find their way on screen, where there is a platform for established new cinematic voices for all kinds of stories to breathe. So I
Right.
feel that this has really been the turning point in my career. The toughest phase would be, there was a point of time when I decided to leave my cushioned corporate job and turn an independent director producer. So I set up my own company, and I wanted to tell my own stories. And I remember, charting out an entire sort of a vision statement for my company, right? Looking at my stories, went from studio to studio to studio, trying to convince the studio heads that, that this story needs to be told and that I'm really passionate about it. It was very, very tough. It was very tough, and I failed miserably. I've been very harsh on myself. I would say that I would tell my younger self that life is a marathon and not a sprint. So be kinder to yourself and live your story. Don't live the story that others want to hear of you. Hear your story, take risks, and just be kind. To be able to have a voice in meetings, I think it is very important to be a good listener. It's very important to be able to hear first, and I think I'm a very patient and an attentive listener. And the second thing is that for us to have a voice, it is important to be able to connect with people. uh, and finally, I'd say that, to be able to have, to be able to advocate what you really believe in, to be able to say what you really feel strongly about, you need to be prepared for your meetings. You need to back it with data, with research. When you have that, the conviction that you're able to find in your own voice, is a lot more. So that, I believe, is the key. I also feel that when you are in a room where your voice, where you have to make a statement, it's very important for two reasons. One, what you're saying is important, and that's why you want to say it. You've backed it with data, you've backed it with research, and your thoughts are so original, and only you have those thoughts, and you have a responsibility towards that. So it's important to say it. And the second is that others are watching. Your team's watching. There are others who are going to be following your footsteps. They're waiting, and therefore it's very important to be able to say it with conviction, fearlessly, and articulately. Who's not dealt with dissent and who's not faced dissent, and especially in a creative field like ours, where there are really passionate individuals, who have a very strong point of view. There is going to be difference of opinion, but I think it's very important to understand why there is dissent. What is the reason for that? If there is dissent, it's because the other people feel just as passionately about that project, or that problem that you're sort of trying to negotiate around. For instance, in my team, we know that all of us are working towards one common goal, and when the goal is the same, this kind, the differences of opinion, the dissent is actually very empowering. because, you know, before you take it to the audiences, before you take your content, it's better to have the differences of opinion, you know, in the room, and reaching a resolution. I invest in passion. I invest in people's passion. I invest in people. I would like to really invest in building a passionate sort of an ecosystem, as I keep saying, a passionate team that feels a great sense of ownership towards their work. That's what I want to invest in. I like to have my moments of silence, which I get while walking. I'm an avid walker, and I feel like I need my time to declutter my mind, uh, and just be with myself. I think that's very important. And if I have a long stretch where I can unwind, I like to travel a lot. I'm a mountain person. I love to explore mountains.